One of the reasons why we don't have secured riches or secured assets in amongst the Igbos is because we have been pushed to a point where all we think is buying and selling. Because when you buy and sell, it seemed to be easier to make money to feed. And from what we have suffered as a people amongst the tribes that are trapped under the contraption called Nigeria. Please, sorry, let me go and pick another. Just fell now. Yes, I'm back. As I was saying, as one of the tribes under the Nigeria contraption, as other tribes are also, we have suffered more than every other tribe under the narrative of Nigeria, which is being controlled by Britain, or which is the product of Britain, controlled on their behalf by the proxies. Now, an average Igbo man, let me not just say the generality of Biafrans, an average Igbo man is very industrious. We know that. We are very calculative when it comes to business. We are very, very proactive when it comes to business. When it comes to figures, we want to be very, very effective because we have a mindset of geniuses. We actually have the intellectual capacity to create investments and create assets, and create wealth. We have the ability, but we have been pushed to a point where we are thinking of survival. So because of that, it over time has affected our mindset that we are now used to doing things that would just give us money immediately. That has affected our behavior, our approach to business. So that when we find long-term things that would take us years before we begin to benefit from them, we only have few who go for it. So when we look at the narrative of our lifestyle, it is actually based on what we can get now. And that has affected the mindset of an average Igbo man. So because of that insecurity that goes with just buying and selling, we tend to be afraid of the future. And all we do is look for more money and more money. Then we stockpile papers that are called monies. And then we live for the now without thinking of the future. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. I want to welcome you to this watch, this time. And I'm just talking with you from Biafra land. My concern this morning is the insecurity we have regarding investments, regarding wealth. And we know we have insecurity in the land caused by us, basically. Those of us who are funding some of these proxies of Nigeria who are working indirectly against Biafra Nation, using the narrative of Biafra. All these groups, like especially basically those ones who have cashed into the situation of Mazen and Mikano and have cropped up at different points and have been funded by some of us. And that is why I said that we are the cause, because we tend to be funding these people. Without you, they will not have the capacity to do anything against our people. Today we have so many incidents of kidnappings. We have evidences that some and most of these kidnappers are connected or affiliated to one of the militia groups, or basically the militia groups that are in Biafra land. And one basic militia group receiving much sponsorship or funding from some of Mazin Namdekano's, you see the other right when the pick, so I'm still holding. From some of those who believed in Mazin Namdekano and then were made to believe or deceived to believe that people like the criminal in Finland, Simon Ekpa, who is in detention waiting for his May appearance in court, believing that he is actually working for Mazen Amdekano because he talks about Mazen Amdekano and using the alibi of the recommendation that Mazen Amdekano gave about him to get you or woo you to believe that he is actually fighting for the freedom, and then you begin to fund him. And it is easy, to be manipulated and deceived, especially when you're desperate about something. And when it comes to something like freedom, we want to live free. Every human being wants to be free. Everybody wants to live a free life where you can determine what you eat, where you go, how you live your life, how you raise your family, whatever you do, and all of that. So basically, most of us are very, very, desperate because of our desire for freedom. And the point that is dangerous, one dangerous aspect of desperation is to allow your emotion override your senses. Because at that point, you would not reason very, very appropriately on the processes towards achieving your desires. So, if your desire is that we have freedom, we have a nation, if you are desperate, you would, in the negative side of it, in the negative sense of it, if you are desperate in the negative sense of it, what happens is that you begin to see less of facts and reasonable, information. You see more of things that drive you through the emotion. And so that's why you find most people contributing their funds, funding militia groups, thinking they are funding Mazen Nambekano's idea of Biafra, but not know that they are funding people who are the problem. But anyways, let me not go too deep into that, because that is not basically why I'm doing this video. Now the video here is, please, as you watch this, share on all your social media platforms, because we want to inform our people. I am taking my time this period to try to see as much as possible from my experience coming to Biafra this season. Today is the I think today is the 7th of March or so, 2025. I am trying to, because this time around I came with a different mindset. Now, I have not been in my land for a long time. I didn't grow up in my land. I grew up outside my land. So I grew up outside Biafra land. So I didn't have the orientation of an average, local person in Biafra land. So coming in, you begin to see different lifestyle, different behavior, different way of approaching things, dealing with things, relations, social activities and all of that. Yeah, some of these things we know about because we have parents who are our parents are from there. So when our parents are from there, we tend to have some kind of feel of the cultural values and the traditional operations of the people. But when you come into it, you begin to have a different experience from what you've heard and begin to see a practical approach to it, or a practical expression of these things. You begin to now know that yes, there are so many things that are involved in the ideas behind our cultural behavior and why we do the things we do and how we do the things we do. And from what I've seen, I've observed our young people, I've observed our older people, I've observed different communities, different people from different communities, homes and all of that, and I have it is given me so much, because looking at them anyways and looking at trying to get messages from them, I didn't look at them as I used to look at them. I'm looking at them differently now, because my intention is to see and to study the idiosyncratic approach and the reason why we are this way we are. Now, I have discovered first that most of our people are already resolved to, our people believe strongly that we need freedom. Every household in Biafra land believes that we are Biafrans before we are Nigerians. Because, yes, we are Nigerians in the sense that we cannot deny the fact that we are under the control of Britain, and the product or the branded product utilized by Britain to keep us where we are, control us, and do all they are doing against us is the name Nigeria, registered as a limited liability company, or maybe a PLC as it is now, public limited liability. It's still private limited liability because, PLC in the sense that they also incorporated locals, people from different tribes under the, people from different tribes, Oduduwa tribe, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, and other tribes, brought them as proxy. They brought those who are criminals amongst them as proxies for the control of the whole land that they want to control. Let me go for the next Odara. Thank you. Now, were you guys really hearing the fall of the Odara? I have two of them to fallen from the tree, and I'm just right under the tree talking to us. Now, I want to look at, I don't want to go so deep because if it's not going to take, just one video to narrate the behavior, the syncretic approach of our people and the behaviors of our people, but I want to concentrate on our insecure wealth that we have. I've discovered that most of our young girls are looking for money, desperate, and most of them have been trafficked outside, even within West Africa, just in Benin Republic here, just in Togo here, just in Ghana and other places. They are trafficked by our own people, our young men living in those places who now see opportunities in prostitution and other means, ritual killings. They come home, manipulate our people, manipulate the parents, telling them that they want to help their children, give them jobs and all of that, and their parents accept all those stuff. And the children are taken away, and then you see them on the streets, or some of them killed along the line, used for rituals, and some of them used for prostitution, and they work for their masters who have brought them under that narrative of trying to help them, as they told their parents. And some of their parents too know what they're going for, but because they're suffering and they're hungry, they tend to just pretend as if they don't know what their children are going for, and then because they feel that, okay, within this, under this program or this plan, something will be coming to me. So little monies are sent to them, and because of that, they sell the future of their children, sell the future of the people. Now I see the young men also so desperate. An average young man wants to get money by all means. He wants the money by all means. He just doesn't want to be work. He doesn't believe in labor. He believes in socializing, spending. They believe in trifles. They just believe in just having a good time without laboring for it. Now, we didn't just get here now. It actually happened over time. It was a process. And the process, began with, the situation that brought us to our knees. That is the genocidal program of Britain against us. Using Gowon and the Nigerian authority then. And all of these kept us at a disadvantaged position. You see, when gifted people who are smart, gifted, talented, are kept at a disadvantaged position, the gifting worries them in the state of dormancy, because no gift wants to be dormant. In fact, every gift is utilized in two ways. It might first get to the point of dormancy, and then it becomes activated towards something else later. Now, what do I mean? When you find a gifted person at a particular time when they are still understanding, or not even understanding their full potentials, but having a feeling of potentiality, at that point, there is this decision that has to be made based on the people around them, or based on their own makeup, their own sense of reasoning, their own way of thinking. or their orientation based on how they grew up and the family they came from. The two options here is harnessing your gifting towards being productive to the society and to the world. And the second part of it is harnessing your gifting towards destroying the society and enriching yourself and being selfish, or for self-aggrandizement. Now, it is likely that most times our mindsets seem to want to keep us in the negatives or on the path of negativity. So when you find a gifted person, that person is potentially dangerous. Let me explain that. As much as a gifted person is a blessing, a gifted person is also a potential danger. Now, what do you think, or who are those? Who do you think are those controlling the world order and the wars or the empires of the world? Who do you think are those controlling them? They are gifted people. Today we have somebody like Bill Gates. He got into the realm of scientific prowess and made his mark scientifically, and then began to harness other aspects scientifically, especially in the medical field, when he discovered that he actually could use his gifting and his attainment of wealth and success in the way he has defined it to control the world. Now, when gifted people become very powerful, especially based on the fact that the gifts is the power that resides within them to control their circumstances, to control the environment, and to control the world, what gifted people do is that they must put these things either positively to control or negatively to control. For instance, today we have this device I'm using now to record this broadcast. It's actually created by a gifted person, but of course it also can be a dangerous weapon in the hands of gifted people to destroy the world. It can also be a dangerous weapon to control other people, to monitor other people. There's so many things about the world, the negative and the positive sides. And so based on the fact that we have this disparity and this broad and complex situation in life, in the natural life, we tend to find it frustrating at times to really walk with people to the fullest, because you don't know what is in my mind, I don't know what's in your mind, and we are all just complex people having our individual mindset, what we are thinking, what we are reasoning, and all of that. So when I'm sitting by you, I don't know what you're thinking about me, you don't know what I'm thinking about you, and all of that. And the only thing I can do is just to believe that we are together. That's why you can have a man and a woman in the house, and either the man is planning to kill the woman and the woman is planning to kill the man, and before you know it, you just hear of mother, and then you begin to wonder, and suddenly amongst the two of them, before you know it, you hear of murder. Now someone has killed the other. It didn't just begin immediately. There was a process of the thoughts. There was a process of harnessing the thoughts. There was the cause and the effect, all the intention, whether there's a cause towards it or no cause towards it. Somebody's intention deciding to go into a thing because of the intentions they have, and all of that. So now I'm saying so many things based on this video, based on what I'm trying to talk about, but because this topic leads me to so many things, so I must point out so many things. But now let me go to the crux of the matter, because it's already 19 minutes or so I started this video, and I don't want to make it too long. At least it cannot exceed 22 minutes or so. Now, I've come to understand that our people are gifted and all of that. We all know that. We know that Igbos are gifted. But now the problem here is that based on the situation that we are in right now, which was caused over time by the wars and the retrogression we're facing, or the suppression based on what have happened to us through the 40s, especially from the 1940s to the time of the war, the killings of our people and all of that. And then after the war, post-war trauma, Nigeria, in spite of the fact that they said no victor, no vanquish, it's obvious that they are proving to us and telling us that we are conquered people. And that has affected gifted people. Seem to be depressed very quickly and get themselves now utilizing their gifts in wrong ways. And so, as much as we are gifted, we are suppressed, we are vanquished, we are defeated people based on global politics, based on global acceptance. That's why we are under Nigeria still. That is why we are still controlled by the sense of Nigeria. But we seem to want to get out of it very quickly. And because to get out of it fully requires you attaining a level of political strength, military strength, and all of that, it now looks as if it's though very difficult to really attain. Because for you to acquire military strength, political strength, and all of that, you must be in a position where you have access to resources that will help you get your way through or pass through and get all of that through. Which means that you must get the monies, you must make enough wealth that you can sponsor every ambition and any inspired project that you have. But you have a situation in Nigeria where we were reduced to poverty. In fact, of course, almost all of you know, or most of us know, that after the war, our people were given 20 pounds, no matter how much you had in the bank, 20 pounds. And that, especially those who had bank accounts, not just everybody, those who had bank accounts, and few people had it. So they were given 20 pounds. And so they must struggle their way through. The riches was concentrated in the hands of the enemies. And they were able to control us using the riches. And the first thing they did was to identify those who had betrayed us amongst us, and then utilizing the resources to enrich them. And then those ones also become stooges or thorns on our flesh. They also began to torment, began to suppress, began to, operate wickedly towards their own people. And so the only way gifted people can be controlled is when they don't have access to the funds and resources. And that now is so frustrating. Now I'm going to continue this particular narrative from here in my next broadcast. Remember, I told you I'm going to talk about the riches in Biafra land and how we're going to enter into it. But I want to first go through this medium to establish so many facts that will help us reason properly. And these facts are very, very important. Because if we're going to talk about wealth, we must understand what is contrary to wealth. We must understand what suppresses wealth. We must understand what really defines wealth, And we can talk about wealth without talking about people first. And then when we talk about people, then we'll understand the place of the people in wealth. I want to appreciate you. Please share this broadcast on all your social media platforms. Also subscribe to this channel if you are not subscribed. It's important because it will help us spread the gospel. These kinds of messages are very, very important to spread around because they help us build ourselves and help us psychologically to be on our path, to true freedom. And I want you also to please keep praying for Mazin Abdikano. He has to be out of jail, and Chukokike can do that for us. It's possible, very possible. And so Chukokike will take those who are behind this situation and deal with them, and then help to get him out so that we all can be free. So please also like this video. Please share, like, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And God bless you very good. Enjoy the rest of your day. Today is Saturday, so enjoy the day and all of that. And stay safe. Careful.